Hey y'all, welcome to a best of edition of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. These best of editions of the show feature amazing guests and episodes of the podcast you may have missed when they first aired. If you are new to the show, these are those can't miss episodes we really want you to listen to. Or maybe you're a long-time listener. We want to bring these episodes back around for you to enjoy again. Our goal is to bring you our best content every week so you have everything that you need to build a better future for your family. So wherever you are listening today, enjoy this week's best of edition of the Flip Lifestyle Podcast.
Hey y'all, on today's podcast, we help Sam take his niche life coaching business to the next level.
Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. Join us each week as we teach you how to flip your lifestyle upside down by selling stuff online. Are you ready for something different? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again this week. For those of you who may be new to our show, maybe you've just found us on iTunes or Stitcher, or maybe even stumbled across our website on the internet. Our podcast is a little bit different than other entrepreneurship and online business podcasts you may be familiar with. We do not bring guests or experts onto our show to promote their latest book or to talk about, their specific area of quote unquote expertise. No, we bring real people, real entrepreneurs from our Flip Your Life community onto the show. We give them a free consulting call, and then we share that call with you so that you can kind of get that information and apply it to your own online business. We're really excited for our guest today. It is Flip Your Life member, Sam Feeney. Sam, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited that your name was easy to pronounce. That's what I'm excited about, because we've had some doozies lately, and that's hard for a kid from Kentucky. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's how I knew to join your community. It was like, well, your name and my name match up. So this is
Shane Sam Feeney. It's just it's a match made in heaven.
That's right.
It was meant to be. All right. So, Sam, we always start out by telling a little bit about you. Tell our listeners about your background and a little bit about your online business.
Sure. I am a father of 3, and in about 2 weeks, husband of 10 years, which is exciting.
Wow,
and,
congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of credit to my wife. She's pretty awesome.
Patient lady. She's a patient woman. She is.
She is. I'm kind of catching up to her, so I'm starting to contribute to the relationship a little bit. But I have 3 little ones, 6, 3, and 2. And my career background was initially as an English teacher, and then I got my degree to be a school counselor. And so I've been in the education space for, I think, about 15 years now. And my online business kind of came out of that, which was wanting to be able to take a segment of what I thought I would be doing more of when I became a school counselor, which is guiding and coaching students through the college selection process, career process. I found I wasn't really doing that as much as I wanted to in my day job, and decided to create something outside of that.
So you're kind of like niching down within that guidance counselor type spot. The guidance counselors do wear a lot of hats. They do 1,000 different things, from scheduling, and the hardest working people in the school usually were the guidance counselors when we were teaching. It's just an awesome job, but you want to focus in and say, I got to make sure this kid gets to the right school for them, for their financial situation, for their life situation, their ability. You're trying to make sure kids get into a situation where they can be successful and move forward instead of getting in and failing out or quitting school or doing something else. Is that correct?
It is. And it's kind of all of those things. Like, I don't have a financial background, but I know that's a big part of it. And I think the expectation more or less is you're using high school to move on to college.
Right.
But a little bit of an itch for me has been the idea that nationally, the graduation rate from college is about 59%. That counts up to 6 years.
Right.
So, and then of those people who graduate with a degree, I think only like 27% actually use their degree.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, like, I'm kind of part of the problem.
Somebody's not telling these kids what to do. They're getting in the wrong place.
Yeah.
They went to campus because it had beautiful trees out in the courtyard instead of, wait a minute, is this actually going to take me where I need to go?
Right, exactly. So that's when I got my life coaching certification, because I wanted to speak to the whole person, and then to say, hey, we're going to start the path to that person you want to become by choosing the proper vehicle, which would be college or, whatever, trade school, anything like that.
So let me ask you this. Are you still a guidance counselor, or are you doing pretty much coaching right now, but just in the real world, and we're looking to scale that?
No, I am still fully employed.
Okay, cool.
At high school where I am. Yeah. So this is definitely where I am now. And why one of the biggest reasons for joining the Flip Your Life community is because I haven't yet. Yeah. It's not as much a lateral shift from I do everything one-on-one delivery and I want a membership site, but it really is the idea that I'm really limited in my impact.
Cool.
I can only at most help 300 kids a year, which is awesome. That's a lot more than people who are outside of education typically can. But there's over 1 million kids a year who are starting college.
Exactly. Cool.
That's a lot of people I'm not helping.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Sam, we always start with why in everything that we do. So tell the listeners, why do you want to flip your life with online business?
Like, why did you think that? I mean, I see you want to help more people. We've kind of touched on this, but like, why do you think online business is the right way to do this?
Yeah, no, that's just good PR. Actually, I want to hang out with my kids.
I got you.
No, I mean, honestly, it really is that it's the lifestyle part of it where, your guys' can't miss moments are just fuel for the fire for me, because in terms of a lifestyle creation, I want to be my kids' teacher and I want to teach by doing. And so I remember when my son was born, realizing that the thing that he was going to remember most in his life was never going to be the things that I got him, but the things we got to do together. It's a time piece, it's an income piece, but it really is just the idea of being able to choose how I'm living my life. And at the end of the day, I want to be able to have that be an example for my kids when they be able to say, hey, you did this, I can do this too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great why, because like I've been, a lot of gurus lately, it seems like, are really pushing the hustle 19 hours and build the biggest business that you can. And you got to be the biggest and the baddest. And what if you sell? And you're always just eternally striving for more. But like, what really kills me is about people in online business is you're not trying to build a legacy that your kids can brag about. You're trying to leave a legacy with your kids for them. And like, if you're not with them, what does it matter what you accomplish if you're not doing it with them as a family? And then, like you said, inspiring them to be able to do what they want to do. Not, hey, look what my dad did. That was cool. I'll do something cool too, I guess.
And, that might be the goal of some people, but that's not our goal.
No.
Could we build this business into a multi-million-dollar business? Probably.
Yeah, for sure.
But we prefer
at what cost?
We prefer to spend time with our kids and do the things that really matter. And, this is more of just a passion thing that we love to do. I
can hear it in your voice because I can hear where we were. I always felt limited in school in my reach, and also by time, because everybody says I want to quit my 9 to 5. But schools are even more restricting because you're on a bell schedule. It's like I can feel the constriction there, and it is freer on the online business side, because when you create that location independence, when you create that systematic way to communicate people like you've seen us do in our forums and on these podcasts, then it does create much more flexibility to do those things with your family and be there for them, to give them those moments like, hey, you can do this with your life. You don't have to do this. So that's awesome, man. So let's shift gears here a little bit. Let's jump right into the online business. Before we get to your first question, where exactly are you right now? I know you've got a website created. Talk to us a little bit about that, systems, and monetization. Like, where do you feel like you're at right now in your online business journey?
And are you doing something like locally right now?
I am doing some one-on-one coaching now.
Okay.
In the individual coaching space, and also planning this fall to be doing college application boot camps. What I basically offer for students, I'm kind of selling peace of mind to the parents, but what I'm equipping the students to do is to be able to figure out a life plan, what I call True North, and then attach that to a specific college, which is the perfect college for you, and then walk through my stress-free college applications program.
Okay.
And so I'm doing components of that in different areas locally. This fall, I'll be doing weekend college application boot camps.
Awesome.
Just even doing that in this past probably 6 months or so and working with one-on-one clients, I already hate the hours for dollars model.
For sure.
So,
sometimes we have to do that first, because that allows us to figure out how it will scale. You know what I mean?
Well, and also what is selling and what people
ask.
Want. You know, what are their problems? How are you solving them? So I think it can be beneficial. I mean, don't completely dread it, because all of these things that you're doing, they are important in the grand scheme of things.
They're going to help you make something online that will appeal to mass audience, basically.
That's been something. I have a good friend who's in the speaking and writing space, and he talks about do it for free until it's good enough where people will pay you for it.
Sure.
So I'm at least advanced beyond that. I feel good about that part. I'm not downing it as much, but I do like the fact that, even as you spoke to earlier, it's a system I've created at least. So it's more palatable than being in someone else's system. So I have those 3 courses: True North, Choose the Perfect College for You, and Stress-Free College Applications. I have those as courses already ready to roll.
Awesome.
They're up, they're recorded, they're in my membership sites, in forums. And I was just going to say something about this real quick about the Flip Your Life community. As you say, a lot of times, like, people come for the content, but they stay for the community. And I've been very much I just want the content type of guy.
Sure.
Until I realized that your community is so much content. Like, it's just to be able to hop into the forums and search and to see your back and forth coaching with one of the members in there. It's awesome. And so there have been so many little breakthroughs that I've had even the past 3 months by having a problem that isn't addressed in the courses, hopping into the forums and searching,
for sure,
and jumping right to a conversation that happened 6 months ago.
That's awesome. We appreciate that, man. And the goal is always to help the person solve their problem, whatever that problem is right now, and help them get to the next step. But I'd rather just someone say, I need help with this right now. Oh, we'll go do this next. And then, like you said, somebody else is going to have that question eventually, and that content will create and grow over time. We're getting down a rabbit hole here. Let's go back to your community. Okay. I love that the product is done, and it sounds like that we've got the website created. It looks good. There's a lot of good stuff on there. I think there's some stuff that we can definitely tweak and improve, and we're going to talk about that in your questions. So we're right at the verge in your online business of being able to unveil this to the world and really start promoting it and try to get people to purchase these things that you've created and that you are selling online or offline, which is a really good sign that the online business is going to work. So let's jump in to that first question and address that right now.
My first question is the membership model right for my business? And I asked that question because my product is somewhat seasonal, in this idea that people think about life planning or needing to get to a point B at very specific times within their lives, typically looking for a career, maybe something around midlife crisis time and retirement. And so what I've identified here in terms of the college area is I'm trying to address a need that is very much a, let's say,
time-sensitive need, basically.
Yeah, let's say June of junior year to the end of that calendar year, basically June to December. And so I'd like them to stick around longer.
Yeah.
Because I want to really engage and so on and so forth. But I'm wondering if the membership model even works because they aren't perceiving a need of something that is longer term. They may just want that short term, kind of that aspirin as you guys talk about.
Number one, people have to remember when they talk about membership model, we say membership model because that's just an easy term that people can grasp onto. But what we're really saying is recurring revenue model. And what that means is, how can I create a system where I sell them the first thing and they keep buying over and over? We sell the membership, so they keep paying monthly. You might sell the courses publicly, but then you might have a community off the back end for the 20 to 30% of those students. Maybe their parents are the ones that find these courses first. They get the courses and they hire you to help their kid make this decision, right, over an X month period. So maybe the pick the perfect college is the front part of this business. But then when they pick their college, now you've delivered amazing results. So you can say, I helped X number of students pick their perfect college. By the way, I also have this program where for X dollars a month, I'll coach you through your entire college process. So maybe that could be something separate that you sell them off the back end of that.
I honestly think that this is a perfect candidate for the side-by-side one-off product monthly membership.
For sure.
And let people decide. We don't always recommend that for people, but I think in this case it could possibly make sense. So what we've seen people do is that you offer your flagship product or one of your products for X dollars, and then right beside it for the same amount, X dollars per month, you have the monthly membership. So let people decide. If they want to just purchase the one-off product, that's fine, and then you can try to sell them later, or they can make that decision to pay the same amount per month and get all of these bonus features.
And what I would do, Sam, in this exact instance especially, I would make sure that the product, like $500, I'll help you pick the perfect college, because I think people would pay something like that for this. But it needs to be completely automated. It needs to be videos talking about whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? Motivational stuff, inspirational stuff, like all the downloads, worksheets to help them figure out exactly what they want. I would keep access held back into my membership area. You don't want to get into like $500 and you can talk to me for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? With no recurring off the back end of it, because what happens is it becomes very unstable. It's hard to predict how many people will sign up for it. It's almost impossible to predict how much work you're going to put into it, you know? Because that's usually where we start, is how many hours is this going to take? And then how much money per hour can I make off of that? So I think that one has to be differentiated in some way. And then you've got this other model over here that's like, now I've also got a membership model where not only will you get access to all of this for X dollars a month, but then I'm actually in there helping you, guide you through this process.
That makes sense.
All right. So let's see. We got plenty of time here. Let's get another question in and see where we can take it on. So don't make a decision right here too, Sam. We can hash this out more in the forum on that. But definitely as the school year approaches, people think about it a little bit. We'll need to get that figured out. Are we going to offer it publicly, or are we going to offer it off the back end? So what is your next question?
My question would be, so when I look at the membership itself, for instance, you guys sometimes offer a yearly discount as part of a community. So because again, it's time sensitive. If someone finds my services in September, they likely think they don't really need it until December, or they'll only need it as long as December. So why would they pay for the discounted year membership when they don't think they're really going to get even past that long? So I'm wondering about pricing. Do I go a yearly discount, or do I look at a package deal and then it just gives them access until a certain point?
It's like what my football products used to be. Like, people need playbooks in June and July, and then they're set until the end of the year. But then it's my job as the business owner to figure out how to make things worth it the rest of the year. That's one of the mistakes I think we made early on, is we had this great back to school product and great January product. But like then the rest of the year, we had to figure out, well, wait, we're not making as much money now. We had to figure out a way to make it more valuable at other times of the year. So like
this was pre-membership
side. So basically you're doing the same thing here. You're like, you've got this thing that's really valuable in this time sensitive place of the calendar. You're going to have to figure out what makes it valuable in January, what makes it valuable in February, March, and you market it that way. You're like, not only will I do this, but then X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, maybe you're adding on layers, like how to improve your ACT or SAT score in these other months,
which
or something like that.
April.
You know, something that's on like a different time frame than what you were originally thinking.
This is not just a seasonal issue unless you frame it that way. How can you frame it in a way where it is a full year issue?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, in the springtime, it's financial aid, it's scholarships, and then I have a whole series of programs come May 1st when you ostensibly have decided which school you're going to on the College Maximizer program. So I've got it there. I guess it's just positioning it in terms of advertising to be able to say, I've got you covered from this point all the way through.
Exactly.
Whatever.
And that's what I was saying before is, let people decide if they think that the things that you're offering are valuable enough to keep paying you for throughout the year. And it's your job to convince them that it is.
Yeah, you got to sell it. And also, too, you're so deep in this space that you're not able to remove yourself. You got to step out of the forest and see the trees. You got to see, how is the parent looking at this? You're fragmenting it to where you deal with this stuff the most, right? So it feels like that's an issue there for you. But remember, when I'm one parent with my first kid going to college who's never done this before, or we've got a friend here who's on her own, she doesn't really have parents helping her. She doesn't know anything about getting ready for college or anything like that. This is a stressful issue that they're thinking about for months and stuff. You've got to be able to frame it in a way that says, I can help you in all of these stages, not just this one.
So you don't say, you may need help in these other areas too, maybe if you want to keep paying me for the rest of the year. No, you say, I have this awesome program. I'm going to help you the entire year. We're going to start with this. We're going to move on to these things. And then I'm going to help you with this because you need help the entire calendar year. I can't wait to bring these programs to you. I'm so excited about this.
And like your lead magnet, for example, in this exact case, what we're saying is go create a 12-month calendar that tells them what they're supposed to be doing every single month of the year. You know, you've got all these like major things like ACTs have to be in for schools on this date. You've got all these things year round, and you've got this nice calendar. Then they're seeing it every day, and they're like, crap, I got to do this, but I don't know how.
That's nice.
I better go talk to Sam. So the moral of the story is for everybody listening to the podcast today is it is your job to get people to keep paying you. It is not throw stuff on the wall and hope that they pay their monthly subscription or hope they buy the next product that you create. You've got to show them why it makes a difference in their life at every point of that journey, and then they will keep paying. That's the big takeaway.
I like it. And I have a related question real quick about dripping content.
We're very against dripping content. I can just sum that up. Yeah, we don't drip content because unless it's something like we have some clients in the community who do like professional development. Because like some jobs require continuing education. You have to get it. They have to drip it because they have agreements with universities or like state laws. But like for something like this, especially because it's so calendar sensitive, there's no reason to drip it because they're going to use it when they need it, not when they just because it's all there.
With that being said, though, I do think that with something like what you're doing, it is important to highlight specific things at specific times of the year. So you send out, say, a monthly member newsletter just to remind people, hey, I have this, and I know that a lot of people are applying for financial aid right now. So let me just remind you that we have this financial aid training package in the community, and you can find it here.
Yeah, you can even automate that because the same things pretty much happen every year.
Yeah, and that's what I do for Elementary Librarian. I automate all of it, like the entire year is already planned out. I basically just call their attention to specific training modules or courses. And
when they need it.
I also will highlight discussion topics. So, for instance, if you have a discussion forum in your community and somebody asks a really good question about something that's relevant to that time of year, go ahead and include that in your member newsletter, and that's going to bring people back in or remind them why they're paying for this service.
I know that there are reasons to drip content. Some people do drip content. That's fine. The reason we don't is because we always want to remove complexity, and I also understand humans. Humans cannot consume everything you have all at once. They can't do it. There's only so many hours in the day to consume content. So it doesn't matter if it's all available or if none of it's available and we drip it. They can only consume so much at any one time. So the only argument for that is really if you have to throttle something because they need the prior knowledge before they can move on. And in this case, I don't think they do because they won't need it until they do the other stuff.
There will be people out there that say, well, what if somebody comes in and downloads all your stuff? We get this question all the time. And in our sites, we found that less than 5% of members are coming in after and joining and leaving in 1 month.
Yeah.
So that tells me that, yes, it probably does happen, but is it enough to worry about and to develop all the complex systems to keep it from happening?
Yeah. Jocelyn always says, let's focus on the 95% of people that don't do it. Then only 5% of our people leave after the first month. There's 95% of people when they join any of our communities keep paying. So why don't we just focus on them and deliver it as much value as we can to them and give them what they need instead of worrying about dripping stuff out and protecting a little bit of content?
Sure. It's sort of antithetical to my philosophy of this anyway, which is I want to equip and empower kids to drive their own education. So the design a little bit is to be instructive of do this part first, but at the same time, it doesn't engage them as active learners of their own stuff. It's the same junk, which is I have to wait for somebody to give me permission to access this information. Okay, that makes sense.
We totally agree. I mean, that's our philosophy with Flip Lifestyle too. We have a lot of people come in and say, well, where's the step-by-step roadmap that shows me what to do? Well, there is no roadmap because everyone's in a different place.
Yeah.
So that's impossible to do, and it's the same thing for you.
That's why the first thing when you join is introduce yourself. And the second thing is ask your first question because that's the most important thing. You got to figure out where they are, and all that has to be available so they can go get what they need off the shelf when they need it instead of hiding it behind some kind of dripped wall. Okay?
That's great. Yep, that makes sense.
All right, Sam, this has been a great discussion today. I kind of hate to see it come to an end because these were some really good questions, and I think that you've gotten some really good clarity about moving forward with a membership site. So we always ask people at the end of our calls, what is something that you plan to take action on based on what we talked about today, say in the next 24 to 48 hours?
Well, one thing that I had done recently was to start the sales funnel training that you guys provide, which is awesome. And I think I'm ready to go with where you're having the product and, starting to really now get it out and advertising it. So my next step is to get into the autoresponder emails training that you guys have, to be able to start continuing that process, checking things off the list from my sales funnel so that I can start letting people know that I have an online product.
That is an awesome place to start. Once you get the product and the site, it's time. It's time to get it promoted and then have systems in place to sell it for you 24 hours. So I think that's a great spot. Go ahead and hit the forums as soon as we get off here. Before you even watch the video, just throw up your ideas of what you think it's going to look like. And then as you watch the training, I'll help you tweak that in the forums, okay?
Do you prefer that under action plans?
No, put that in the general forum. And
great.
Make your action plan what you're going to do. Like you're going to watch the video, you're going to do this. And then go ahead as soon as you're ready and throw the bulleted list in there, what you think your funnel is going to look like. And Jocelyn and I will help you tweak it, okay?
Love it. Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. And we actually have a special treat. This is usually where we close up the show and thank our guest for being on. Sam's been a great guest. But Sam had an awesome request that I could not turn down. As many of you know who listen to our show regularly, we like to close every single episode of the Flipped Lifestyle podcast with a Bible verse. Jocelyn and I draw a lot of our inspiration from the Word, and it really helps us not only in our life, but in our business as well. And Sam wanted to read the Bible verse this week, and I thought, man, that is an awesome request. So, Sam, I'm going to give you the floor, man. Tell us the verse and read it to us, guys.
All right, absolutely. Today's verse is Galatians 6, verses 4 and 5. Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load.
Oh, that is epic. That was a great verse, man. I don't remember the last time I've read that verse. I'm sure I've read it before, but I love the picture of taking action and responsibility there. So, man, thanks for sharing that, Sam, and thanks for being on the show today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys, too. Looking forward to interacting in the forums this afternoon.
All right, guys, that wraps up another call to one of our Flip Your Life community members. If you'd like to become a member of our Flip Your Life community, head over to flippedlifestyle.com/flipyourlife, and we can help you with your online business as well.
All right, next we're going to move into our Can't Miss Moments segment. And these are things that we were able to experience recently that we might have missed if we were still working at a normal 9-to-5 job. This week's Can't Miss Moment is going to Frozen on Ice. We are a big Disney loving family, and I've been looking forward to going to Frozen on Ice for a long time, but it really wasn't anywhere near us. We were able to find it up in Cincinnati, so we decided to get some tickets and head on up.
And it was cool because we just left, went up there. The tickets were fairly expensive, and boy, once you get in there, you talk about a marketing wizard's dream. Disney's got you. They got you good when you go in that place because, man, it costs $20 for an icy and like $15 for popcorn and stuff like that. But it was awesome because we also took my nephew and my niece. We just bought them tickets, and we got to take all 4 kids up to Disney on Ice. We had a great time, had great seats. I've got some pictures over on the podcast show notes to check that out, and it was just a really awesome experience. And it's something we probably definitely would have missed if we didn't have the freedom to take off, drive 3 hours up to Cincinnati, and be able to afford those tickets.
And we talked about before, even though this was on a weekend, it still is a can't miss moment for us because back when we still worked our 9-to-5 jobs, we were tired all the time on the weekends, and we had to take care of household things and mowing the yard and things like that on the weekends. But now, since we've started our online business, we're able to outsource some of those things, and then we have the mental space and just, I guess, the energy to do things like that.
And I love being able to just give our kids that experience of, going into an arena. There's 10,000 people there. They get to see a huge production. We've done a couple of these things lately, and I'm just glad that they're getting to experience some things that we might not have been able to let them do if we were still working our regular jobs. That's all the time we have for this week. As always, guys, thanks for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. And until next time, get out there, take action, do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
always say this. You need the 500 right people paying you $50 a month to make $25,000 a month. That's what you need. Or you need 200 people to paying you $100 a month. Whatever your niche is, it's not like you got to have 800 million social media followers to make a living online, you know?
No.
Thank you for listening to this best of edition of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. We would love to help you take your next steps toward your goals. We have a free online business quick start course over at our website at flippedlifestyle.com. This course will help you set big goals and make them happen, find and validate your ideas today, and help you identify and find your perfect customers. Our online business quick start guide is a free resource, and you can get it right now over at flippedlifestyle.com. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com. Head there right now and download your free resource today.